What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Brainwash to Be Broke, the show where we talk about all the brainwashing pattern stories and beliefs that we were programmed to believe in. I don't believe that most of the people lack some type of talent or so. They are somehow different or whatever, like that. Um, Something holding them back from actually achieving it, then taking their responsibility and actually taking it as their responsibility and changing it. Um, I believe that we've been taught some type of script since we've been born, and that script holds us back from doing and achieving what we actually are capable of. So today I'm sitting here with another amazing guest. um, I don't want to mess up the name, so please can you introduce that? Can you basically tell us your name and surname, please? And then uh, also, she is basically a career coach. She is helping also businesses to grow and like people to start a business. So she has a lot of reps in that area. So it's going to be really, really valuable for anybody who's starting a business and so on. And also, she is running a summit lately. So she will be probably sharing some thoughts on that also. And other than that, I'm, super excited to have her here and spend the time with her in here. And um, the first question will be where we're gonna start is, for those who don't know you, who never heard of you, what is your story? How did you get into entrepreneurship so people can actually understand what you do?
Thank you so much, Adam, for having me. I really, really am looking forward to this conversation with your people. I'm really, really excited because this is a really wonderful opportunity. It's a wonderful opportunity because, really, like you said, there are loads of us walking the earth. We have our different stories, and mine is no different. I have a story that has made me who I am today. And I would just start by just giving a bit of background. I'm that beautiful girl who was born to a very lovely family in Nigeria. My parents were very, very hardworking, like I'm sure yourself as well, that Adam and any other person who's watching. My parents were very hardworking. My dad was a dentist, but my dad traveled a lot. So that really helped us as well. And my parents were very entrepreneurial. So my parents traveled a lot. My dad worked in different companies in different countries. So we traveled a lot with him. So I think that first of all really opened my mind. So when I got married about a little over 10 years ago, I met this guy. He's UK based. I'm a Nigerian girl who's living in Nigeria happy. But he meets me, brings me all the way to England. And guess what? I come all the way with him. But guess what? There's that culture shock because everywhere else I've lived for short terms. But imagine
Mhm.
now moving here, moving away from everything that you know. And when you're first of all coming into the country, a lot of people tell you their limiting beliefs. They tell you things like, oh, don't just do what you just do what everybody else does. Don't
Yeah.
try and be big. Just do something small. Go and do this menial job. Just take a small job. Don't make noise. Don't let anybody notice you. Just stay small. Basically, they just tell you that because it's easier for them to tell you those stories because that has been their story. But they always try and make their story your story, which is not my case. I came in, and I will be very honest with you, Adam. When I was coming, I told myself, even though I was afraid, but I told myself I wasn't going to have a limiting belief. And I'll tell
Mhm.
you what happened the very, very first month of living in the UK. The first month of me living in the UK, I'd come from Nigeria I'd been a consultant, an educational consultant in Nigeria. I was vice principal to a school. So I'd done a lot of things in the education space. And a few people who had known me or met me through church or friendship and stuff with my husband, they then said, okay, you have a really good skill. Can I introduce you to somebody? And guess what? My first interview, Adam, I didn't even apply for the job. I was
Mhm.
in my house. Somebody came to me and asked me to come for the interview. Can I even shock you the more, Adam? Not only did they ask me to come for the interview, they sent a car to pick me up for the interview. But you see, it's very important when I say to people, when you move into a country, the first five people that you become friends with, that you stick around, is going to determine your entire journey whilst you're in that country, because
100.
their beliefs is what you're going to take on as your beliefs. Now,
Also.
I came in with the people, the beliefs, that system that I had was based on the people that were around me. My husband was quite established, he'd had a really good job, he had friends, family, and all of that. And they believed in reaching, just a little bit more. Like they were not
Mhm.
complacent. So that changed my mindset. And I said, okay, guess what? I didn't take that job anyways. But it was beautiful to know that that was an opportunity. So when
Yeah.
I saw that, I started. I remember giving a few calls to a few friends of mine back in Nigeria, saying, "Guess what? I just had an interview, and guess what? They came to pick me up." I Some of them believed me, some of them maybe not, because they're like, "No, England, no, that's not what we're told." Do you get what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
really, really important that you're true to yourself and you have an expectation. There's nothing wrong with having an expectation when you're going into where you're going to. And when you move into that place, make sure that you tie yourself, literally tie yourself to the right people. And you will find out that your story will definitely be different.
100%. I love it because, like, most of the, like, I don't know if you studied Jim Rohn, or like most of the successful people, like, they always talking about like that like the average of five people is going
Mm,
to basically that you spend the most time with, or even better to say, it's that the five most influential people in your life
mm,
is going to be like they're going to determine what your life is going to look like. So I've been
absolutely.
really cautious about who I'm actually spending time with,
Very
right? Because
important.
this is, most people don't understand when I moved also to England. They don't understand that the point was to get rid of the community
Mm,
completely. Like, I don't want to be around people that not going to serve me in the long run. I
very
didn't. I like. I in that at that time. I haven't. I like. I know that I'm escaping from that environment,
mm,
but I didn't know
what you were running
exactly
to.
what is going to, like, what type of effect, and what's gonna have the effect on me. And also, I didn't know what is going to be happening that environment in that country. So when I get there, so I start picking really carefully who I'm talking and spending time with. And most of the time it were people um from different country. I didn't even like spend much time or like with people from England. I spent time with
Mm,
people from US, and I was most of the time business owners, people who've been pursuing their calling and so on, and that shaped me a lot. And then I started seeing different,
absolutely.
different ways how people are making money and how actually the
Hmm.
world works. And like, yeah, so I completely get what you are saying when you said, be careful, like the five people around you, the environment's going to do a
Very, very,
lot.
very important.
Very
Yeah, it's
important.
gonna really change. And also, Adam, from that perspective, I'm even gonna tell you another story that happened. So when I was already living in England, I was working in the financial institution. I was doing okay. I was
Yeah.
doing okay. I was earning less than £30,000 a year, but I felt that was okay because my husband had a higher paying job, and I didn't really bother about that. Just stay simple, stay okay. And then a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, had an interview. She'd been
Hmm.
telling me, you need to get into tech. You need to get into tech. And I'm like, what? Why? Everybody's getting into tech. But guess what? She was going for an interview and she needed to put her son somewhere. So she didn't have where to keep her son. So she came to my house and said, are you available to help me look after my son? Obviously, I said, no problem. So she brings her son and he stays with me for a few hours. She drives all the way for her interview. When she gets back to my house, the interviewer calls her and says she got the job. Guess how much the job was going to be for? it was going to be for about £85,000. And
Uh-huh.
so here am I with my less than 30K job, and my friend is here going for an 85K job. And she said to me, I know that you will do even better at this. Why aren't you doing this? That
Mm.
day, I started looking, and I said, where are the things you said I need to read? Where are the things
Mhm.
I need to brush up? But guess what? If I was not in that opportunity or in that environment, I would never have believed that somebody was going to get a job that was going to be more than 30, 40,000. For me,
Yeah.
when I was aiming, when somebody says aim high, I was aiming worst case scenario 45, 50K. But now, if you offer me that amount, I'm going to be like, are you insulting me? Because obviously, yeah, I've gotten to the point where that
Yeah.
is now I can make that in 2 weeks if I want to,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so important who you keep around yourself. And I will not overemphasize that. I can't even overemphasize that. Even if we spoke all day, we would be able to talk around that. So that really changed my mindset. And guess what? In less than 3 months, I myself, I was also in a high paying job. I think mine started about 50, 60, and then I started going higher, hit my first 6 figures, and that was it. It was the
Mm.
mindset. It was also being around the right people.
So cool. So when you are working with people, when it comes to, you know, when you coach them on their career, um, what is the most common mistakes or the brainwashing that is happening in that area when people are coming to you with like, please help me with like get better positions or like get higher in that on that ladder basically. So what do you work on the most of the time when you can see like from your experience already since
Oh
then?
my goodness. Adam, this is a very, very interesting question, very close to my heart. One of the biggest problems and one of the biggest challenges I have with 99.9% of the people I work with is here.
Mindset.
It's
Yeah.
their mindset,
So
it's
true.
their beliefs, it's the
Yeah.
limit. So before I even help you get the job, before I even coach you on what to say at the interview, or before I even sit with you and say, okay, what are the possible questions you're going to be asked? The first thing I work on is helping them understand how they are worthy of that role. I
Wow.
have to help them understand
Very interesting.
you are literally worthy of that role. You are wanted. You are needed in that role. If they didn't need a person, they wouldn't put out the application. And guess what? You are the right person for that role.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to sit with them. So once I've been able to break that, when I've broken that, everything else is easier. How they answer their questions is easier because it's a mindset. It's understanding it's a difference. Imagine, Adam. Two people came to you, Adam. One
Yeah.
said you put out for a role. You say, I want this person to do this thing for me, and then you say, I want a particular person that can do maybe my marketing. And the person comes and says, hi, Adam. I'm really good at marketing. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really look forward to hearing back from you, Adam, if I can get this role. And another person comes and says, Adam, how much do you have to spend? I've done this for this company, this company, this company. This is what I'm able to do for them. When do you want me to start? Which of them are you going to go with? The one who's more
Certain.
the one who's more certain, the one
Yeah.
who's more confident, knowing
Yeah.
exactly what
Yeah.
they're bringing to the table. So when I start with their mindset, then I sit with them and then help them to understand what is their selling point.
Yeah.
Because whatever
Yeah.
is their selling point is what they can then walk into that interview or
Mm-hmm.
any business deal with. Because once you know what your unique selling point is,
Yeah.
Adam, you can sell ice to an Eskimo.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just need to know what you're bringing to the table. And when
Have
you
you?
know it and
Yeah.
you believe it, the other person is going to believe you. But if you get in there and you're not even sure,
Mm-hmm.
the other person is not going to believe you. So which is why I say a lot of things, and I love what you're doing, honestly, Adam, because the brainwashing that has been done from childhood.
Oh
People
yeah.
have been brainwashed that just stay
Mm-hmm.
small, be limited. Don't aim for too big. The being rich is just for a few people. No. We're changing that, Adam.
Yeah.
Not on
100%.
our watch. Not on our watch.
Love it. When it comes to, because have you ever studied sales at all, like in your, wherever, like in your area of expertise? Have you studied sales? Because it seems like, based on what you described, when
Mhm.
when you are basically selling yourself to the company, it's pretty important to be able, because like like, there is different ways how you can use sales,
Mhm.
like selling, right? Because like you can sell yourself to somebody, right? That's the same thing, you are making somebody an offer, right? All the
Mhm.
time, like it's
Mhm.
all the time, like the conversation usually is happening about something, like, so,
Mhm.
if you want to get the outcome from it, you always, that conversation always has to be somehow structured, so you actually understand like how, like, and prepare yourself how you're going to, and like what the conversation gonna, uh what you're gonna get from it. Right. So, have you studied sales? Because it's really interesting. Because, like, I mean, just like what you described, and like how you describe that person who is more confident in their, in the presentation of them, is actually going to most likely get the job. And I believe it in it, like 100%, because like I wouldn't, hire like somebody who don't believe um in their capabilities of actually achieving it. I don't really, like, of course, like those things, like I've already done it for that person, that person, that person. Yes, that plays an add to it, but I don't believe that you actually need to have completely like stack of your results behind you. You just have to be so certain that, not in that product or not in that whatever you are selling, you have to be so certain in yourself and your capabilities of solving any type of issue. And that's one of the big things that are, like, when it comes to entrepreneurship and doing a business, this is the most powerful skill set. And like being in alignment with your head and with who you really truly are
Mhm.
is the most important piece that served me since I've realized it the most.
Mhm.
Because people can feel from me that I know what I'm talking about
Mhm.
and I can deliver. And the only way, because like all of you guys who listening, with you also, right? Like, you are powerful.
Yeah.
Everybody, you are
Yeah.
powerful. You are influential.
Mm.
You are worthy of everything what you're going to basically want. It's
Yeah.
just, you just have to realize it, and you have to believe in yourself. Because if you are Christian, if you believe in God or anybody, like source of power, God already told you who you are,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And you don't have to listen anybody around yourself who telling you their limiting beliefs about you and how not worthy you are or whatever. That's
100%.
not true, because they don't even know that, they don't even know it about themselves.
100%.
Right? You are worthy and you can
Mm.
do whatever it takes. There is no failure. There is only um, results. There is only feedback. And if you never give up, you always going to figure out like that. Like, I'm never giving up on anything. Like, I'm literally, like, for me, it's, I've never lost. Even though I had
Mm.
some setbacks, I've never lost because I've never give up.
Yeah.
Right? So I just wanted to bring that into the point, because like in sales and all of that, like it's very, very important when it comes to being so confident in yourself.
Yeah. I love the question that you asked me if I've, been interested, if I've done any sort of sales
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all. It's a very interesting question, Adam, and I'll tell you why. It's interesting because one thing that we've been told growing up is don't sound too salesy. Don't try and sell anybody anything. You're sounding salesy. Everybody is always selling you something.
Yeah.
You're either buying or you're selling.
Ooh,
If you
yes.
are constantly the one who's buying, it means you're not selling.
Mm-hmm.
It means money is always leaving your hand to somebody else.
Yes.
If every single day we are always buying or selling something.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that if you are looking at yourself, 70% be a seller. Everybody should know how to sell. If you cannot sell a product, sell yourself. Because sometimes 95% of the time people buy you. They buy you, the person.
Yes.
So build up yourself. Trust yourself so much, Adam, that you know who you are, what you carry, what you bring to the table. And whatever you put on your hand and you say to people, I'm selling this, they're going to buy it off you. They're going to say, when is it coming out? Because they believe in you. So, which is so important, that self belief, that seeing yourself beyond, that's selling. You need to sell yourself to you first.
Mm-hmm.
Sell yourself to you, buy you from you, and then go sell you to the world. But you're the hardest person to sell yourself to first.
Yes.
If you are able to package yourself and sell it to yourself first, you can sell to anybody in the world. Because we're our biggest critics. We're the ones who will say, oh, I think I didn't do it properly. I could have just, done it this way. I could have made sure. No, you're doing just okay, right?
Yes.
You need to make sure that you get to that point to understand that we're in a world where buying and selling is not going to end. And if you watch this podcast, if you watch this and you do an audit of yourself, ask yourself, am I constantly buying or am I
Mm-hmm.
selling? And if you are not selling something, I give you 5 years, you're going to be broke. You're going to be hungry.
Yeah.
So you have to find something that you're selling. It could be something, it could be, you have a skill. See, Adam, everybody has a skill. Even if it's just to make people laugh, it might be the
Mm-hmm.
little things. You just sit around people, they start to laugh. That is in itself is a skill. You might not know how to package it. That's why you invest in a coach.
Mm-hmm.
You invest in a person that will then look at you holistically and say, this is what you do fantastically well. This is what you enjoy doing. Sometimes what you enjoy doing is not what you sell. You sell what you're good at. Sometimes the things we're really good at, some of us don't enjoy doing it. We just do it because it's next to nature. But there's some other things that you just do it. It's just second nature. For me, when a person comes to me, I would always have a good advice to give you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just second nature. Because I will not look at it from your perspective. I'll look at it from a bird eye perspective. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll say to you, okay, why don't you have you looked at it holistically? There is never only one way to kill a monkey. There's so many ways. There's so many ways.
Yes.
If you say 2 plus 2 is 6, 1 plus 5 is 6, 3 plus 3 is 6, 0 plus 6 is 6, you know, you need to understand that there's always something about you that somebody else is willing to pay for. If you cannot find it, find somebody who would help you find it and go market it. Because the world that we're about to live in, that we have already started living in, if you are not selling something, I promise you, my brother and sister who's watching this, you are going to be hungry in 5 years.
Yeah. 100%. And I love it, like the way that you show the different variations, like how, there is one thing that or one solution basically that we can actually see, but there is multiple of actually like ways to get there. It's so funny. Like and the problem is that most people see only the one thing and they think that this is only the way, this is only the way. No, there is so
Exactly.
many different
Hmm.
ways how you get there. Like, I'm telling you right now, I had the same problem like with the Facebook also. Like, that was my biggest platform for getting clients and getting people in
Yeah,
touch with. Oh my gosh, I lost it. Most of the people were just like, I'm done.
I'm
I
done.
spent so much time and now I don't have
Yeah,
the communication platform.
but
How
not
can
you,
what I
Adam. You
can
know where you're
do?
going. Not
And
you.
then I was like, okay, like there is another. So I
There's
just
another.
selected
Let's go on
another,
LinkedIn. Let's find
and
Instagram. Let's do other things. That's it, Adam. You see that what you've done is you've just understood that there's so many other ways than doing one thing.
Yeah.
But if you sat there and you got stuck on the fact that you lost all your followers on Facebook or
Yeah.
you lost that page, you're just going to be there, just live on your past glory. We should always be aiming for something new.
So true.
Celebrate what you've achieved, but there's always
Yes.
something new. There's always new grounds.
Yeah.
That's why you see Elon Musk. I just found out today that apparently he partly owned Chat GPT at the beginning.
Ooh, really? I
I
didn't
didn't
know
even
that.
know that.
No, me
What does
too.
that tell you? You
Yeah.
always have something new. He's in
Mhm.
aerospace, he's in AI, he's putting his hand in everything.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? You need to make sure that you're always finding something. And like I said, all of these guys, you say, oh, they're successful. They're selling. They're
Yeah.
selling, bro.
Yeah.
They're finding new ways to sell to you. And you're just there buying, buying.
Yeah.
You're just there
So
buying.
true.
Click,
Yeah.
click,
Yeah.
click. But you need to start to sell to them. You need to start to sell to them.
Yeah. 100%. And yeah, the best way to start is always finding the skills. In my opinion, like the fastest, like of course it depends on what type of industry you are in, right? Like if you are basically in, and you want to climb the corporate ladder and you want to get better, a better job, this is a little bit different. This is from my scope, because my
Mm,
scope is more like business and going like really on business side, and building businesses. I love building businesses, and that's basically what I'm focusing on the most, right? But like the principles are pretty much the same everywhere.
yeah,
Like if you want to
yeah,
get better, better job, um, you just have to study basically very similar things like if you would be entrepreneur, because the people who build the
yeah,
job for you, they are entrepreneurs and they think that way.
exactly.
So you need to actually understand how to talk to them, so because like that way you can actually
Absolutely.
understand, and they understand that you actually cares about stuff that actually matters, and so on,
Exactly.
right? And those people like anyway, it's very interesting because you people most of the time complaining about how the life sucks and so on, and they, instead of actually stepping, like, and like taking the responsibility that nobody's going to save you, like literally
Mm,
you can save yourself
100%.
only, nobody else, right? You can expect that somebody gonna do the work for you, and that's like when it comes to businesses, you literally nobody gonna care more about your business than you do. So like what
Yeah.
you thinking, like just do the work. And most of the time, right, like
I love it.
it's all about um execution, doing it as much as possible, like, like, um what is the word I'm looking for, when you want to do some type of change or so on, you always have to sacrifice something,
It's
right?
uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's not a
100%.
walk in the park. If it was a walk in the park, we'd all be millionaires.
Yes.
We would all be, but we're not. We're not. Like if it was a walk in the park, everybody out there who's watching this podcast will be sitting down on a yacht somewhere. But no, it's not. Not everybody is, right? So
Yeah.
one thing you said, Adam, that's really I'm just going to try and draw into that. You talked about the fact that you're very focused on business, and I'll
Hmm.
tell you something that I do for every single person that I career coach.
Hmm.
If I career coach you, if I sit with you, if you come on any of my programs, one of the things you're definitely certain of is that you must start a business.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
cannot work with me if you don't start a business.
Yeah.
So we will get you that high paying job. You will get onto that corporate ladder, but after a few months, we're going to be like, what next? Now you have
Exactly.
that job, you have that
Yeah.
title, you've done it. You've done it. The next thing we need to do now is how do we find a something else that actually is for you?
Yeah.
Because
100.
I mean, there are people who are going to be watching this who are probably going to be Christians or whatever. And one thing that I like to say is, um, the Bible, which I mean, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, and I don't hide it. Okay, and one of the things that the Bible says is God has said, "I will bless the work of your hands."
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't done something, what is He going to bless? You're there saying, "God, I need you to bless me,"
Mm-hmm.
but He's there saying, your hands are not doing anything. You're doing somebody else's business. You're helping Mr. Jeffrey get his business done. I'm blessing the work of Mr. Jeffrey's hands, but I need to bless yours.
Mm.
So you need to get out there and say, okay, if I want the works of my hands to be blessed, what am I doing that's going to make sure that that prophecy comes to pass? Go do something with the hands. And then so God can have something to bless. So it's very important for me. So that's something I've always done with people I work with. Start working, have a good job, or have a business. Because guess what? If the job goes like this, what happens to you? You're back to square zero. You don't have anything to fall back on. But if you had something that, okay, even if it's something small, you've invested somewhere and it's bringing you an extra source of income. Because guess what? We've been trapped in that. No, Adam, let me not even just tell you what we've been trapped in. I'll start by explaining how many hours a week do you work? At least 40 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Most people work at least 40 hours.
Yep.
And we know Monday to Friday, that's 7 good hours of your time or 8 hours. And then there's lunch break in there that they just make you feel like you're taking. We're literally like factory workers. You're going there. When you come back, even if you work from home, you are exhausted
Mm.
mentally. You're exhausted physically. If you have children, you're barely just helping them get to bed. And all you want to do is sit down and doom scroll on your Instagram or sit on Netflix and watch something else somebody else created. It's a cycle. It's the brainwashing. It's the cycle. You're just in that cycle of let's do it. Let's do it. I wait when I get older, when I receive my pension, I'll go live that life. But guess what? It's been proven that at the rate at which things are going, the pension is not even going to be enough for you to even live the life that you're living now. So if you're managing now, you're even going to manage more later. So why not just shake it off and get to work? Do something with your hands,
Yeah.
right? Do something. So that tiredness, that doom scrolling is a trap. But if you are going to be different and if you want to make something of yourself, aside working for somebody, let that be something that is working for you. You have that 9 to 5, but you're going to have to come out of that place of comfort and go into that place of spending that extra 2, 3 hours. If you want to give yourself a nap, I'm going to tell you, Adam, I wrote a book last night. Like I finished my book last night. How did that happen? I put my children to bed. I went to bed with them. I woke up at 2 a.m. Before this call, I finished my chapter 5 of my book and it's ready. I've sent it off for the editors before I came on this call. So if you see my eyes are this way, I put in the work. I got a few hours of sleep. But tomorrow, when I'm driving a big car or I have an extra source of income, and you're there thinking, but she did, you don't know that I didn't sleep. But I gave myself 2, 3 hours of sleep, woke up, did the work. But that work is going to pay me over and over and over and over again. So if you're watching this, what am I saying? Just get off your routine. Do something different. Walk out of your house on a day that you never, maybe normally you're home Monday to Friday. Come out of your house on a Tuesday. When you just take a walk, look outside, look for a problem to solve. If you solve problems, you will never be broke. But guess what? The things that are happening around us, there are problems around us that you can solve, but you're too lazy and you're just happy doom scrolling. That's if you're doing that, honestly, just stop watching this video. Just go, just keep scrolling because this is not for you. But if
Exactly.
you're ready to take action, honestly, you need to take the action. Stop waiting. Like Adam said, nobody's coming to save you. Absolutely nobody. The government doesn't want to save you. Your parents can only save you to a point. If
Mm-hmm.
you're married, your spouse can only help you to a point. But you need to save you. Or are you waiting for your children to come and save you? So you're getting to the point where you're always there just managing, waiting for the next person who's going to give you hand me downs when you can be the provider. Yeah. I was listening to a pastor recently, and he said he had a congregation. He was praying for them, and then they were doing like a prayer and fasting, and that so every day was a new topic to pray about. So they got into the prayer room that particular day, and he said, "Pray that God sends you your helper." He
Mm-hmm.
said, if you'd seen that church that day, everybody, thousands of people were praying. God, send me my helper. Wherever they are, send them to me. Perfect. He said the next day, he changed it up. And he said, today, pray that you are the helper. And guess what? Everybody went quiet.
Mm,
There were a few prayers here and there. People who didn't understand it. But people do not understand that if you are a helper,
mm-hmm,
it means you don't lack.
mm-hmm.
It means you are sitting in abundance.
Yeah.
So instead of praying to find your helper, go out there and be the helper.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are going out there with the mindset that I want to help more people, you will do so well that you will first of all help yourself. It will be so easy to help every other person.
So true and so powerful. I love it. Wow, that's awesome. I love. When it comes to um, yeah, when it comes to praying and so on, like and God and like everything, what is like in combination of like what
Mm,
we believe in and like how the world is operates and like everything. You have already everything what you need to be successful, and like this is so powerful. And
yeah.
I study a lot of people who are in like who basically teaching business based on Bible principles, and
Yep.
it's so fascinating to me like how those people basically going to Bible for all their questions and so on. And if
Mm,
it's not in a Bible, or they have some questions coming up from the outside world,
yep.
they are going to the Bible and checking it if that's actually true or no.
True.
And if it's not, they just literally know that's not how it's supposed to be,
That's
and
not the
like
principle.
get rid of it.
Yeah.
This is just a false belief or something that is not really going to serve you. So this is
Yeah.
like so fascinating, and it's so fascinating also after me doing like so many interviews in so short period of time. And when I've been talking to those people, most of those highly successful entrepreneurs are so aligned with God. It's
Yeah.
insane.
It's insane.
Yeah. And I love it so much. And it's bringing me closer and closer to, being able to like seeing the world from different perspective and from the
Mm,
side of how they see it. And I'm basically I love to go and study those topics too.
yeah.
So I'm like I'm getting into those things that I actually finally understand, because like I don't know about you, but I have like I'm like basically from really traditional family, right?
Hmm.
Nobody really understand, even though we are from traditional family, like when it comes to uh religious and so on. um Nobody really understand what what Christianity really is, and like believe in
Mm.
God and so on. I have so many like mixed opinions when it comes
It's
to that.
more, people are stuck, Adam, on religion,
Yeah, yeah, so
not
true.
remembering that Christianity is a relationship.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's a
100%.
relationship. So for me, let me tell you
Mm,
how I'll give you a very clear example of a
okay.
time when I was trying to understand where I was with God and my walk. So I was
So you
there
said
saying, you know what,
hang on. Christianity, you said Christianity is a relationship, right?
is a relationship.
Ooh,
So it's not a religion, it's a relationship.
yeah.
So think about it like this, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
God wants us to spend so much time with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that when we spend time with him, we then find out what's in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And when we find out what's in his heart, you're then saying, imagine I'm having a conversation with you, and you're in your mind, you're like, you know what, Ubani, we're gonna really do well on this podcast. Why? Because you're tired of people being brainwashed. You want people to go start businesses. I'm there saying, you're saying you want to tell the world that they need to stop being brainwashed. I'm there helping people start businesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy for us to have a conversation because we've had a conversation before. Do you get what I mean? Because
Yeah.
we understand that we're aligned. And then we then see, okay, how can we work together? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the same thing with God. So God, how do we get in a relationship with him? You it's different when you go to church. It's okay to go to church, it's fine. But if you're not speaking to him, if the only time that you're speaking to God is in church, bro, you are in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you have specific times that you sit down, have a conversation. We can have a whole podcast about this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you a personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was a time when I was trying to re-understand how my relationship with God was.
Mm-hmm.
And God, and obviously for me, I'm really big on mentors, big on um what's it called, on coaches. So one of my mentors, I'd had a conversation with her that I just want to spend time with God. I want to know what to do. And she said to me, you're going to God as uh as Ubani, the wife, the mother of two children. Like, you're going to God as that person.
Mm-hmm.
She said, go to God as a 5-year-old. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean? And
Yeah.
she says, when you go to God as a 5-year-old, He's going to tell you what to wear. Like, your parents are going to tell you what to wear. They're going to tell you what to eat. They're going to prepare food for you. They're going to do things for you. But if you're going as a mom and as a wife, you've already done things for yourself. You can do things for yourself. So you're in that mode of, if you don't sort me out, I'll sort myself out. But if you go as a 5-year-old who's dependent on you, you will see God differently. So I started the journey. I would go every day. I had a particular time in the week and a particular time in the day that I'll spend time with him. And I'll spend a particular time, I'll sit down with my book, my Bible, just wanting to hear and all. So and then when you go in there, you hear words like, or maybe you might just say, read the book of John or something. And then you just go read, understand. So I was spending that time. And so I used to look forward to it. This particular day, Adam, I come into my corner. I'll tell you, I do my prayers about 5 a.m. every morning. So that day, I went into my prayer corner at 5 a.m. Normally, I was so excited because I was ready to learn. I had so much. And guess what? My son, who's 4 year old, my 4 year old son, wakes up. So I could hear him from my prayer corner. I could hear him in his room already screaming and I'm just there, God. I just like, God, you're infinite, and I want you to make this boy go back to sleep because I want to spend this time with you. And God, I'm sure God just looked at me like, hmm. So, anyways, the boy keeps crying. He cries. His dad wakes up, goes to him, tries to pacify him. And then my son keeps crying. He just says, Mommy, I want my mommy. Now, Adam, it was so annoying because I was there in my mind, like, God, just make him go back to sleep. I want to spend this time with you. And then eventually, my son opens the door to my office where I have my prayer corner. And he opens the door, and where I'm sitting, he comes and sits on me. And I'm there like, but I'm praying. I need to write. And then he just goes. He doesn't care. He just sits and holds me. And I couldn't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, God said to me, you see the audacity your 4 year old has? That is what I want from you. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to understand that I am your father.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what I'm doing. You can walk in and talk to me anytime. And you can
Mm-hmm.
walk in and spend time with me. I will drop everything else for you. And in that moment, I just started crying because that my son waking up at that time, he wasn't trying to that relationship, he wasn't trying to get me to read another book in the Bible. He didn't want me to tick a box and say, I read this chapter today. He wanted me to experience him. And there
Mm-hmm.
was no other experience I needed more than that. Than just showing. He said to me, he said, the audacity of your child is the audacity I need from you as your father. And that
Mm-hmm.
was it. That
That's
was
so
all I needed, Adam.
this
And
is so
going forward,
cool.
audacity with me, with God was just normal. I was like, God, yeah. I'm like, I want this and I want it now.
That's so powerful. I love it. Wow. Well, let's. I want to ask you this question because I see you so passionate about like helping people, and like you are so into you are a believer and so on. So the first question would be like, when it comes to what you do and like how you help people, what is actually like the hunger? Why,
Mm,
like, where that hunger came from?
mm,
Like, if you're gonna be completely transparent, like,
mm,
is it something from your previous like chapter of your life that drives you so hard, or is it
mm.
something that you found that is like something that you had the calling of God to serve those people? I just would love to hear that.
Wow, this is a very, very personal question. And I don't think I've gone to a lot of podcasts and I don't think anybody has asked me this. And so I'm going to be very transparent with you, Adam. It's two things. One of it is, firstly, um, I've had a point in my life when I've not had a lot, when I've had to depend on other people for resources and things. And it wasn't very pleasant. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way I felt. Even though God was teaching me something in that season, He was teaching me to be submissive and all. I got married. I wanted my husband to be like, oh, do this. I'm like, why do we have to wait? Like, why do we have to plan? I can afford it. Why can't I buy it? And then God went in and then took all my money away. I went in, I did a deal. I lost all my money. So at that point, I was broke. So I had to be submissive. I had to wait. Like my husband said, don't do it. I don't do it. It was very tough. But guess what? That prepared me as well for where I am now because I've experienced it firsthand. So it was easy for God to put in my spirit and this what's it called? This assignment. My assignment is very good. It's very important to know your purpose. When you spend more time, you get to understand your purpose, and a lot of things start to shape around it.
Mm-hmm.
My purpose is to raise kingdom financiers. So if you, for those who are watching and don't understand what that means, it means that Adam, there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing God has said to me is that a lot of you, me, He said, you and your people, you are all afraid to have money. He said, yes, He said, the believers, Christians, you're afraid to have money. So he said, you're afraid to have money because you just feel like it's a responsibility. Like you're afraid. What are you afraid of? Of being wealthy? Why? Because guess what? Everything needs money. You need to send you want to send children to school. You're not gonna go there and say, I pray for you that you're gonna get an education. No, you're gonna pay for it. You want a course, you want people to see God more. You're gonna pay for it because you're going to pay for billboards. You're gonna put those pictures up. It's not free. You're not going to go there and say, hi, I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I need you guys to give me this billboard for free. No.
Yeah.
You want to feed the homeless, you're going to have to use money.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay for these things. But so the work is, there's a lot of work to be done for God on earth. And He wants me to help His people change their mindset to see the importance of having money. Because it's not just for them, but it's for the kingdom. Because remember, God will not send you if He's not going to equip you.
Mm-hmm.
And which is why it's so shocking to me when people say, I don't want to do anything for God. If I'm doing for God, it means I'll have little. No, it's a mindset. God sends you flamboyantly. Like He will do it for you. You are sitting in a lot. For you to put in your pocket to bring out to give to somebody, it means there's more there. There's more where that came from. And if that's your mission, think about it. God wants you to give 10% to something. He wants to say, okay, I want you to give 10% of whatever you make to this cause. What happens to the remaining 90%? And the 10% He wants you to put, He needs that thing to be funded and it's £1 billion. That means you have 100 billion. So if you start to think like that, you understand that working for God is the best thing. He's the best employer. You will never be hungry because He will feed you because you need to feed others. So that is my course. It's my life's mission to empower other people to understand the importance of having enough to be able to, spread the word, do things, and people will say, oh, that was God led, not just, oh, that person did that. So people like the other people who are not Christians who are doing so well, they're not afraid of money, but we Christians are afraid of it. So God has said, when we're ready, He's ready to take us on that journey. So that is where my passion comes from. So with that passion, it fuels me. So there's sometimes I'm tired, I'm weak, but I need to go. But guess what? Recently, God has now showed me, myself and my husband, bless him, He's now showed us that in as much as we're currently helping a lot of adults, but guess what? Most of them have their belief system already solid. He said, I'm taking it back 2 notches. So right now, because of what we're doing with our children, God has said, I need you to duplicate that for the children of the world so that you catch them young. So the book I was writing last night that the Holy Spirit put in my system is for the children. It's called The Wealthy Child. That is the title of the book, The
That's
Wealthy Child.
awesome. I love it. Yeah.
So the wealthy child is not about, and but guess what? It's called the wealthy child So you'll see them like, oh, it's for a child's book. You open it, it's for the parent.
Mm-hmm.
It's teaching the parent how to teach the child,
The
how
child.
to steer them in the direction that God wants them to go.
Yeah.
So
I
there's
think
a,
that
like I
is,
said,
yeah. I love it. Just sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you because like I don't think that there is enough information for parents how to
hmm,
actually raise their kids the
yeah,
proper way. Because
mm,
like I see it from my perspective. I don't have kids right yet.
hmm,
And the thing is, I want to, when the times come and we will be planning to bring kids
hmm,
on Earth, I'm I want to be I want to know how I'm going to like, or at least prepare myself
yeah,
to lead the kid since a young age differently that I've been led, and I had to do the shift myself.
mm,
So I want to prepare them for
100%.
the observe, like so they can observe the world from from
Mm,
from the edge of the coin. You know what I mean?
hmm, hmm,
And so I've been actually like kind of searching around already what there are some type of books, topics, or somebody who is actually understand and focusing on that. But the thing is also like that I couldn't really find much. So this is really
mm,
really cool, and
yeah.
I'm for sure going to be looking into it.
So I just felt very strongly in my spirit to do this. So there's one of the chapters that's called What Rich Parents Teach That
Mhm,
Schools Don't. Okay.
mhm,
And
mhm,
it then gives us in there, we talk about a few different principles. Money is a tool, not
yeah.
a trophy. And I'll explain, and I'll just read a part of it from here. So that gives you
Mhm,
an understanding. In homes where wealth is sustained, money is discussed in terms of what it builds, what
mhm,
it protects, and what it gives. It's not the destination, it is the vehicle to get there.
mhm,
Children who grew up understanding this do not chase income blindly, they direct it with purpose. How to bring this home? So, the next time your child wants something, a toy, a game, a pair of trainers, do not just say yes or no. Ask them, what would that do for you? Then
mhm.
ask, is there something that money could do that would last longer? You are denying them you are not denying them that thing. You are teaching them to think before they spend.
Yeah.
That pause practice early enough becomes a habit that
Mhm,
saves people from thousands of spending over a lifetime.
mhm.
That's just one example. Another example, I'll just give another example, how to bring the difference between assets and liabilities, which is a lot of us suffer from.
Woo! Yeah,
An
yeah.
asset puts
So big.
money into your pocket. A
Mhm,
liability takes money out. A savings account is an asset, right? A car on finance is losing value on your driveway. That's a liability.
yeah.
Rich parents introduce this language early, not as a lecture, but as a lens for their children to see through. Once a child learns to see the world through it, they never stop seeing it. Now, I'm saying to you, how do you do that now? Play the asset or liability game using things your child already knows and loves. So
Mhm,
if they're into football, ask them, is buying a football sticker an asset or a liability?
mm,
Let them think. Then ask, what if instead of buying the sticker, you bought shares in the company that makes them?
mhm,
Watch their faces change because that is a real thing. The
mhm.
companies behind almost every brand your child already loves, Nike, Adidas, McDonald's, Apple, are publicly traded.
Yeah.
Every brand they love is publicly traded. Your child um, does not have to be a customer of every brand they love. They can be part owners.
Mhm,
Fractional shares means you do not need thousands of pounds to start. Some platforms allow investment from as little as £1. So the question is not whether your child is old enough to understand this. The question is whether you are willing to introduce the idea before the world convinces them it is only for other people. So
yeah.
this is just one section in
Correct.
there.
Yeah.
This is not even a full chapter. This is just like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
section of the
This
book,
is very cool. Yeah, people needs to
which is
hear this. This is so so true. Like I, and I see it even like I can see it from my parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
I learned this stuff. I literally had to go and study it on
Mm.
my own. I never heard of this from anybody else
Mm.
and just reading books or being around people who are
Yeah.
actually understand this. And then you coming back to, the origin country, speaking just like, spending time with your parents for
Yeah.
after a long time, and like they are missing those. Basically, it's not common, but it's like this is the basics of
Mm-hmm.
the life, how you
Yeah.
should be living your life, and they
How
don't
you should be
understand.
living your
So
life.
they
Yes.
rather spend on a shit that is literally doesn't produce anything,
Nothing.
and like they just spending and spending and spending, and
Spending
then
and spending.
we had a very tough year of spending so much money on that, and that I was like, why are you
Why?
spending money on it? Like this
Why?
is literally like it's not going to ever bring you anything from it. Just
Adam, we're talking about children.
yeah,
Adults are suffering this every day.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
suffering this every day. You're just buying things you don't need.
No,
You're
yeah.
literally buying things that you don't need. And for me, what I love about because I'm a coach, the
Mhm,
first thing I'm thinking of is I want these people not to just read this. I said because I said one of the things I said is I don't want you to just read my book and walk away. I want you to go take conversations, have conversations with your children, do activities. For example, in that same chapter, at the
mhm,
end of it, it says conversation starters. Point to something your child loves, a brand, a game, blah blah blah. Do you know what could actually own a tip or a tiny piece of that company? So there's a conversation starter with
mhm,
them.
mhm,
Activity: look up one company your child loves and find out if it's publicly traded.
mhm,
You do
mhm,
not need to buy anything today. Just let them see that it exists,
mhm.
that real people own pieces of it, and that there's nothing stopping them from being one of those people sooner than they think. Changes their perspective.
Yeah.
What is one, then I then ask you the question, what is one thing you wish someone had taught you about money before you were 20? And how
Mhm.
can you begin teaching your child that this week?
Yeah.
So it's not just read another book and it's nice. Oh wow, this person really got the point. It's what are you doing today? And when you start the next chapter, it's going to ask you, have you done what we said you should do in the chapter before? And if you haven't, stop, go and do that before you continue. Because we don't want you just reading, I don't want you just reading the book and walking away. Read it, understand it, become it, and go for
100%.
it.
Well, this is really cool. I love it. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, having this conversation,
Thank you,
because
Adam.
I think it's gonna help a lot of people. Uh, and before I let you go, I have like also like I have three rapid fire questions right there
Okay.
prepared. But before we even jump into, I have a last question for you before we jump into them. Um, and the question it will be what what is your plan for the future right now? Like where are you heading with what you do and so on, so people can see where you go in.
Mhm. So, one of the things, thank you so much, Adam. One of the things that I'm doing currently is to help people. Like I said, what we're doing a lot of things in the background. I have different communities that I'm working with. I have a community of people who are trying to take advantage of the financial market. I have a community of people who are trying to also go into coaching because there's some things people know how to do. It could be parenting, so many different things, but I have different communities for different things. But one thing that I'm very passionate about is a lot of people ask me this question, and the question has been very concurrent. It's very recurring. If I got $1 for every time I got that question, I probably would be a billionaire. It was if the question is, what do you do to make money?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that I can start doing now? Because some people, they don't just want to have conversations with you. They're saying, okay, what is my next step?
Mm-hmm.
So what I've done is I've sat down with a few of my own personal coaches, my people that I have, gone through their programs, have done things. It could be so what I've done starting, I've created the summit. It's a 6-day summit starting on the 27th of April of 2026 to the 2nd of May 2026. And the reason I'm doing this is every single day, I'm bringing in one specialist who is coming to teach you talk. So it's going to be like conversation like this, but people are going to be there. Have conversations about money and how to get into property. What is property? Do you know that Universal Studios is coming to the UK, for example, and they're coming in? They're already here. They're building.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that there's properties that you can get into, that you can actually start to be you're providing for the guys who are building the Universal Studios? Do you realize that there are areas that people are looking for um things people are looking to collaborate? Do you have time in your hands? Are you able to go find a deal for somebody who's going to pay you for it? Are you able to find a coach who can say, okay, you know what, I have an extra 100,000 or 500,000 pounds. When you find a deal, we can go in together. You manage it, I bring the money. There's so many things that can actually change your life. So that's just one day. And then when we finish those conversations, you can then go and work with those coaches. So that's for one of the days. Another day, I'm bringing in a specialist from China. Like I said, everybody's always buying and selling. It doesn't end. And 70% of things that you find in our shops are all from China.
Mm-hmm.
Why not source directly from there? If you have a product in your head, somebody can go to a factory and have it produced for you, and it's brought to your doorstep. Another day, I'm bringing somebody who's going to teach you who's going to teach you how to sell on Amazon, who's going to teach you how to sell on eBay, who's going to teach you how to sell on TikTok, how to open your store, how to do all these things. It could be something small. They're also teaching you how to become affiliates. You know, that's another day. Another day we're bringing somebody who in the UK, we all understand that a lot of people, and I'm sure Adam, you can relate with this, who are immigrants, will come into the UK and become carers. So they would help a lot of people, look at, take care of themselves, and they're being paid a fraction of what the companies are making. Now, that's not a problem. Why don't you, if I'm bringing a specialist who will teach you how to set up your own care agency,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can pay yourself. Get contracts from other companies and pay yourself, and be the one. And then, if you have any issues, you can then use that, if maybe for sponsorship and all. There's so many opportunities out there. So I'm bringing a lot of. I can't even go into all of them. Another one, I'm bringing an AI specialist slash YouTube automation person who teaches you how to go onto YouTube and go make money off there, using different tools, using stuff, and just going out there and making money. So there's a lot. And so these are some of the things that I'm making money from. So I'm saying, why don't we bring it to the world, and you then go and get it? So it's my coaches are screaming that the price is quite low, but I'm doing it for a purpose, Adam. I'm making it very affordable so you don't have an excuse. So the tickets are $15 for the whole entire period. So for $15, you can attend the 6 days and speak to all of these coaches, like have all of that experience with them. But if you want to then have personal, there obviously there's a VIP ticket, but that's what if you want to have personal encounter with the coaches, have access to our recordings and all of that. There's a slightly higher, but $15 you can get in the room. So that's
Oh.
something that I'm doing, and what I've gotten is that I'm going to do this more, because people should be looking at, okay, one source of income, two sources of income, increase it to six, increase it to seven. The target should be minimum eight sources of income.
Mm-hmm.
That's paying you trickles from here, here, here. As long as you have eight places where you're trickling, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
If one is not working, the other one is working. If it's not this, it's not that. So when one stops, you're not going to go, you're just going to say, okay, how do we replenish that? How do we change that? So I'm going to continue doing this summit regularly. I'm bringing different people from different parts of the world. Right now, we're doing the UK because that's where most of my community are. But we're also looking at Africa as well, because there's some of these things that are, you can be anywhere in the world and you can do some of these things. So yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm very passionate about right now. And yeah, so yeah, that's it for me, Adam.
All right, thank you so much. So now the rapid fire. I have three questions. First
Okay.
one is, what would be the most powerful book that you have ever read?
Okay. Give me a second. It's this one.
So like crazy,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, love it. Uh-huh.
Have you read it?
Yeah.
It's by Sabri Subi.
Yeah.
He's amazing. It's always there. See, I always have something in there. I'm always reading it. I always go back to it to refer to some things because guess what? Like I said, everybody's selling you something. You just need to know that you need to be selling as well. So this is a
Very
book. If you want to go in there, represent yourself. This actually you don't even necessarily have to be selling. Even when you're working in an organization, you're also selling yourself, remember? So
yeah.
yeah, this book really is one of those books for me.
Very cool. All right. The second question would be if you could delete one piece of information from the
Mm.
internet, what and that doesn't serve people at all, what that would be.
Delete one piece of information from the internet. It will be that's a very hard one. Because there's a lot of things to delete. What will be one thing I'll delete? I'll delete the Adam, that's a very tough question. What's one
Yeah,
thing I'll
there
delete?
is a there is a bunch actually. Like when it comes
There's
to
quite a lot of things, and I'm
yeah,
wondering to myself, are there? Can I say this on podcast? No, the first one I'm going to delete. I can't say it on the podcast because we're going to get fined, so you get cancelled. So no, I'm not going to say that one. I'll say the next best one. So I would say any sort of information on any sort of things that actually opens children to being molested online as well, or
mm,
being what's that word? I think I'll delete the opportunity to have children get on social media.
mm,
So there has to be like more restrictions to actually
mm,
getting children. So if I could delete that possibility of them getting onto social media,
yeah,
I don't think social media is bad. I just feel like it's bad when you're too young because there's so many
yeah.
things.
They don't
Yes,
understand. Yeah, 100%. People spending too much time on social media
too
instead of
much
like
time on it. Yeah,
yeah, too much time and because in my opinion it's because they are looking for a better place of life,
Instant
better
gratification.
yeah, or something like that. Yeah, so true. You know,
Hmm.
it seems like most people they don't really like the the way they live, so they're trying to search for
Mm.
something that actually like replace
Escapism.
yeah, like escaping from the
Mm.
reality.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's really interesting because
I
like
agree.
the escape is not actually the solution. That's literally you just delaying that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, and the third one would be if this podcast would be your last interview we've ever done, what would be the message that you would leave behind you for other generation?
Whoa. I would say to you, and um, I say this with so much conviction, right, Adam? Adam, or whoever's watching this, remember, if you were born into a family that was not wealthy, that was not your fault.
Mm,
But if your children are born into a family that they cannot boast of wealth or being comfortable, that is 1000% your fault. So go out there and build something that your children are proud of and you're able to leave for your children. So it's not your fault. The family you're born into is not your fault, but the family that is born into yours, the children that are born into yours, is your fault. So how do you make sure that you need to make sure that you're living a life that you know that you are definitely leaving a legacy for your children after you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you
being
so
here.
much, Adam.
Where people can join the summit or where you can find you.
Okay, so I will give you will find it somewhere. I'm sure in the video. Is that all right, Adam? At the bottom, the
Mhm,
links to joining the summit.
mhm.
We'll send it across to yourself. You can just join. You can just we'll send you the link. So do I need to say we'll send you the link? Okay, so anyways, I'll give you the link for the summit at the bottom. It's called the TIA Summit. That's the Income Accelerator Summit, where you will just literally your income needs to just accelerate, but you need to start to think differently. So yeah, we'll give you the link below. And if you want to find me on Instagram at Ubani Billions. And if you want to find me, I think I'm on Instagram, on TikTok, same name, Ubani Billions, at Ubani Billions. If you want to find me on Facebook, I think I'm on Facebook, same name. I'm just the same all over. And if you want to also connect with me, send me an email as well. Hello@ubanibillions.com.
Awesome.
So send me an email. I will personally read it. So hello@ubanibillions.com. Send me an email. I will read it and I will get back to you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. And
Thank you so much, Adam.
thank you. We will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
All right. Bye.